welcome back to Two Dudes Talking Motorcycles. My name is Gleb.
And I am Mitch. You can follow me on Instagram at Meech to the Beach.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Gleb Lapham. And you can also follow the podcast on Instagram at tdtmotorcycles. And you can also email us at tdtmotorcycles@gmail.com. Feel free to send us your questions, comments, feedback, ride stories, pictures of your bikes, or anything else you feel like sharing with us. It's been a minute since we recorded. Both of us were kind of on the busy side. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can probably see we're a little not quite put together.
Yeah, someone forgot the mic stands, and we're at Gleb's house. So
yep.
Who could that be?
We're hand-holding the mics for the next 40 minutes.
Courtesy
30
of,
to 40 minutes, however long this episode's going to be.
Courteous of Mitch's empty brain. So sorry about that.
So hopefully it will sound okay. We're just going to do our best not to move the mics around.
If you hear spiders in your ears, it's just our fingers.
Yep, so, exactly. Yeah. But anyways, welcome back to the podcast. We took a couple of weeks off just because we're both kind of all over the place.
Family stuff, travel stuff,
Yep.
So
you had like a family reunion thing with Tessa.
Yep.
And then I took a trip to Colorado to visit a friend and to also visit Rocky Mountain National Park. And I do want to talk about that a little bit later in the episode. And yeah, we kind of just been kind of all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
So we took a little break from the podcast.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't really mind the little break, but I was excited to get back to it. I was kind of assuming we're going to be a little rusty probably.
Probably, yeah. I didn't mind the little break either. It was nice to kind of recoup, but clearly we didn't quite recoup enough. But it's all good.
Or too much.
Yeah. But it's all good. So we're back now, and this is going to be kind of a just all over the place.
Well, I guess just another catch up. We really owe these people a history episode.
We do.
So
history episode, and then we'll figure. But we have some ideas in the that we need to do.
Yeah, but before we start getting into rambling, there is like one big piece of news at the time of this recording. As of June 23rd of this year, the European Commission has approved Liberty Media's acquisition of MotoGP. So MotoGP is essentially now an American-owned event just by being part of the Liberty Media. I'm pretty sure it's an American one, and so we'll see what's going to happen. We'll see if races change or
we'll keep an eye on it.
I've heard rumors that they're going to put it over into have some more races in the U.S. so they're not going to be such weird times for MotoGP fans in the U.S., but we'll see. So
it would be nice if they brought one here to Utah because we do have our big Utah Motorsports campus down in Tooele.
Yeah.
And I've never ridden or driven on that track, but that's where Eurosports Utah.
They're doing that today at the time of this recording.
Oh,
recording this
true.
episode.
Yeah, they have
they're out at their track day.
And I really wanted to go, but it's just too expensive. It's a little bit out of my budget for this year to go to that. And
one day, right?
One day.
Yeah, I want to try it out too.
It's a pretty big campus, and I think they have a couple of different tracks, or they can split into two different tracks.
Yeah.
And I've never driven or ridden my bike there, but I have been there to take some photos a long time ago of a race, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So it'd be kind of cool to see if they bring that over here. So we both have that ride game, right?
Ride 4. Yeah.
Isn't that one of the tracks?
Yeah. On the new Ride 5 or 6, whichever one I have, you can ride at the Utah Dugway Motorsports area.
Yeah. And I remember when I was playing that game, I was just like, oh yeah, this looks very familiar.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see if they come here, and if we if we get a local MotoGP scene, which will give me an excuse to go to Tooele, because otherwise I would never.
Yes,
If you're from Tooele and you're listening to this, sorry.
Well, it's just
there's not much reason to go out there.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, I guess because so this Liberty Media Group, Liberty Media Corporation, they also own F1.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
So if it takes the route of F1, maybe it's going to be an improvement. But overall, I'm a little nervous about an American thing. I don't know, but we'll see.
There's a lot of money in F1.
There
and
is.
Speaking of F1, we both saw the new F1 movie, and this isn't really a promo, but
I liked it.
I really liked it. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's super basic plot, but I'm a film nerd. I work in video as
The shots,
my actual job, and the cinematography in it is phenomenal.
yeah,
Like,
it's an amazing like film movie.
yeah, it's a really good movie to watch. If you can watch it in IMAX, even better, because watching it on that giant screen is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the sound with it, and like the seats we were in were like moving with the car accelerating. It was like vibrating with the car accelerating.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I just had the regular seats, but it was. I really enjoyed it. But that'd be cool if they make a MotoGP movie. We were just talking
or like
about
you were
this
talking
before we started recording.
No, you sold me. I think an Isle of Man movie would be
Isle
way
of Man
cooler.
would be way cooler.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be like modern day. It could be like
the
more
glory days,
like
the old,
like when it started or something like that. And we did like I think it'd be really cool. And it's the same director that did the Top Gun Maverick movie that came out a few years ago. And
it's the same movie.
It's very
but I liked it. I had fun. Yeah.
But like the cool thing about it is just like I could see this being a really cool format for a lot of racing type movies.
Yeah.
Kind of like racing or kind of events like that. For those kinds of movies, I don't know if they're going to do more or whatnot, but I said before we started recording, I would love to see Isle of Man would be really cool. It would be really cool to see like Dakar filmed in a like
Dakar would be a
similar
good one.
kind of way.
Yeah.
Because that involves motorcycles, which we like. And then it also involves like buggies and trucks and trophy trucks and just like all sorts of cool stuff.
It's
which
wild.
Would be really cool to see on the big screen.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not quite as... I feel like it's pretty well known, but it doesn't have the same kind of clout as Formula One.
Yeah.
Which I feel like in the recent years, I like hear everybody talking about Formula One, but just take like 5, maybe 6 years ago, I feel like it was kind of like, it was there if you were like a big fan of it.
Yeah.
But I never really heard much about it.
I think F1 is like, it was kind of like D&D with like during the pandemic. It was after the pandemic that both of those things really skyrocketed in popularity.
Yeah, that's what I kind of noticed too.
I think it was just like being stuck inside.
Maybe. But I tried to get into F1 and I haven't really watched too much of it.
I've watched a race and it is fun. It's just kind of ridiculous. It's just the money behind those cars. They're amazing.
Insane engineering.
Yeah.
I have a couple of coworkers that are big fans of it, and I like asking questions and stuff. One of them keeps trying to get me to watch the Drive to Survive on Netflix, the documentary. I tried. I just couldn't really get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, racing is cool in general, whether it's F1 or MotoGP.
Well, after watching F1, I tried to like go learn a little bit more about F1, watch some old races and stuff. But then I was also getting caught up on MotoGP. I haven't watched any. I've only watched one race this year for MotoGP, and I just find the MotoGP more interesting because it's like
bikes.
Well, I like bikes, but it's also just like I can only imagine like what that feels like to those guys because they're crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
You know, but then I saw like Alex Marquez crash. I saw Ogura go down and. It's really MotoGP is getting really interesting to me.
That's good.
So I can see why people are intrigued by F1, and I get it. It's cool, but I just like bikes.
I also like rally racing.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Rallies are really cool.
Watching those cars go down like a tiny dirt road at like 100 miles an hour.
Those are a lot of fun.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. Racing is cool. Since we're on the topic of racing, the 24-hour Le Mans.
Oh yeah,
happened a couple of weeks ago, I believe, too. And this is totally unrelated to motorcycling podcasts, but it is to racing. But Cadillac scored its first ever Le Mans victory this year, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
and it's one of those
Cadillac's
things where it's just
GM, right?
Yeah,
it Congrats, is GM.
Yeah, they won against Chevy, which is funny because
that's also
GM, but. It's kind of cool because just like these racing, whether it's like MotoGP, Isle of Man, or like the car racing, like Formula One, Le Mans, like rally, it just shows like the amount of engineering that goes into whether it's a bike or a car is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it's like purpose built just for that. Well, in most cases, rally, you have to have a production version of that same car.
Right.
And Le Mans is kind of in between. They're still like cars that regular folks can buy, just modified for racing.
Yeah.
But like, you can't buy a MotoGP bike.
No, of course not.
You can't buy a F1 car unless you're stupid rich.
And even then, it's got to be street legal if you're gonna take
you
it
can't just drive
I guess you
around.
could, if you have the money, you could buy it as like a little rocket toy that it can't touch the street. Not that you would want it to.
Maybe you could just have your own private racetrack then. I guess you're golden.
I mean, I guess if you have F1 car money, you probably have your own track money.
Yeah,
So.
I would think so. But anyways, I'm curious to see how that's going to go with MotoGP.
Yeah.
If being acquired like that, and see if maybe we'll see more races on our neck of the woods and be easier to get to and watch live in person.
Yeah. I will say I am worried. I anticipate, just by the fact that it's going to be attached to this new company, that prices are going to skyrocket even more so than they already are.
I feel like it's just going to be expensive no matter what.
Oh, it always is no matter what, but now they're going to add a stupid little plastic gold sticker onto it and say like it's worth more now somehow.
Probably. So. In other news, I think that's the only news we had.
It was we just kind of got off talking about races after that. So,
but go see the movie. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, F1 was really good.
Go see it in theaters while it's out, because it's definitely a theater worthy movie.
Well, and I'll say it like this, like what I did like about, and with people I know who like F1, and it's like, and same with MotoGP, right? You see like the teams and how they work and like all the science and stuff they're tracking during an event. Then it's crazy, and I love seeing that kind of stuff too. Yeah, it's not just this guy who's like, I like to go fast. It's like there's a whole crew behind him.
There's a lot of engineering that goes into pretty much any kind of vehicle that we use, like even our own two bikes. I mean, there's a lot of. I'm assuming there's a lot of tech in our bikes that was developed. Oh, not a lot, but like that was developed like originally for something like rallies or off-road racing and things like that.
I mean, look at our bikes. We have like the lean sensitive computers and like traction control. It's like all that stuff just didn't get created overnight. That was trial and error and finding the sweet spots.
And like a lot of that technology just kind of trickles down from racing down to like consumer level stuff. Yeah. Even like I just had it in my head, or like MotoGP for. Is it the MotoGP 2? They use the
Moto 2 for the Triumph engines.
Yeah, they use the Triumph engines, which are on like the Street Triple or
it's a 765R engine, and then so
it's just kind of cool if you're like a tech nerd, just seeing like
switch my arms.
That's why I have two of them.
Let's do that too.
But like, which I think is really cool, because you have so much engineering and technology going into these vehicles that kind of over time trickles down to like consumer level stuff. And not all of it makes it down, but a good chunk of it probably does, which
just
I think
knowing
is pretty sweet.
Like how tires react to road conditions at certain angles. And
it's crazy to think about, because like when I'm on the bike, and I was thinking about I was watching the movie, I was like, I guess, there's all these different things that would affect like my bike as I'm driving, like the air temperature, the wind, the road condition, the road type, even like how fast I'm driving, how fast I'm cornering, how much I'm leaning.
Well, even just like the way like your bike was designed and built out too, like with its fairings, it's like that's been built to be able to, cut through wind and not, have like so much like direct contact, like, or blunt, if that makes sense with with your direction.
It's pretty cool to see.
That was the news, and then we just started getting nerdy about races and bikes.
Rambled on, which is going to be the theme of this episode.
Anyway, Gleb, what did you do this week?
Last week I went over to Colorado, and why I wanted to talk about that is because Colorado has such amazing roads, and I got to drive them. I did not ride my bike over there. I did drive, mainly because this was not a trip to go motorcycle riding. This was a trip to go like...
It was a sightseeing,
like see
visiting.
the town, hiking. I did like an 8-mile hike, almost 8-mile hike through Rocky Mountain National Park.
And you visited friends, which they don't ride, do they?
No. Yeah. So I visited some friends over there, so it was a really good time. But Colorado has some incredible roads, and I really want to take my bike out there and ride it. And I'm trying to like as I was there, I was trying to like think of a way to plan like a route.
A motorcycle route?
A motorcycle route through like northern Colorado.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to ride my bike through Wyoming because it's windy and extremely boring. And I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
Because
I
think if you go like east through Utah and through Vernal and then through like Steamboat Springs in Colorado and then into Rocky Mountain, I think it'd be really cool because there was really one specific road that I would really like to ride on my bike. It is called Trail Ridge Road, and it goes pretty much up and over Rocky Mountain National Park, but at its peak, it's at 12,000 feet elevation, which makes it the highest continuous road in the United States. Not the highest, but continuous.
That's pretty cool.
It doesn't like just stop.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool to like ride that on a motorcycle, and then while there, hit up like Pikes Peak and Blue Sky. Those are both 14,000 feet. I think they are the highest roads. I think Blue Sky might be Blue Sky or Pikes Peak might be like the highest road you can drive in the United States. I'm down.
Yeah.
And then might as well like make a giant loop down through Uray and then
get back
up
to
into
Uray
Utah,
again.
pretty much like a giant loop through western Colorado. And I think
I wouldn't mind hitting the $1 million highway again.
Hopefully the weather is more in our favor this time around.
Yeah.
And speaking of motorcycle trips, if you remember last year, we went on a trip to California. And while I was there, we might have mentioned it a few times and probably had a whole episode on it with Emerson. But I finally finished the vlog, the video from our trip. It is up on my personal YouTube channel. It's Gleb Lapham on YouTube. And we'll include a link in the description down below as well. But I finally got it done. It took me almost a year after the trip. And considerably longer than I originally planned. And there wasn't really any setbacks that set me back. It's just me being kind of lazy and not.
Well, you do this for your living, and then
I do this for work.
Then what? You're gonna come home and chop away like how many hours of footage did you have to cut through?
A lot.
Yeah, so
a lot. And if you have a video editing background, you probably understand this. But if you don't, let me explain it to you. So we basically had me running 2 different cameras. So I had my GoPro, I had my Insta360. Then Emerson had his GoPro 360. You had your GoPro. Mm-hmm. So that's 4 cameras right there. Mm-hmm. And then I also had my phone, and I had my big camera, which I didn't use that much, and then my drone. So overall, it's about like 7 cameras that we're using that I'm working through here. But the toughest part is the GoPros and the Insta360, because I just had to constantly like go back and forth to see like, okay, so my camera is filming at this spot. Let me see if I can find that same spot from your camera or Emerson's camera, and see to make sure that the timelines line up to where all the footage is like in the same place. So it's not like, I've put one shot in there and then the next shot is like something that happened like 100 miles ago. Yeah. It's just, so that part took a while, and it was a very tedious thing to like sync together. And like Mitch said, like I do this for a living, and I don't really want to come home and feel like I'm doing more work. Mm-hmm. So I just chip away at it slowly over the course of the year, and it's finally out. And it's about almost an hour long, so set aside some time for that, or just watching a couple of chunks.
Well, and I think Emerson said it too, but it's just like we said, like it just made us want to go on another trip. But I think, no, man, you did a great job with it, and
Thank you.
That's something you can add to your portfolio too. So
Thank you. Thank you. I tried my best. There was a few parts where I was just like, wish I had like a little bit more footage or a little bit more commentary on what is like currently happening versus just narrating it from my mic here at home. Yeah. But overall, like it was pretty fun to put together. I basically did like a full on edit day on it, just like right before finishing it up, just cruise right through.
Hell yeah.
And it was fun to kind of go back through and watch like the footage and stuff, kind of like seeing the banter, the riding that Pacific Coast Highway again while like putting it together. It was such an incredible ride. So I'm excited to share it with
any B-roll you have of me on my bike on that coast.
So I'm excited to share it with, our listeners as well. Once again, it is on my personal YouTube channel, and it did make me want to go back on another adventure, but I have not actually watched it on YouTube yet.
Oh, really?
No.
Not as a viewer.
I pretty much, this goes with any video I make. Once it's up on YouTube, it'll probably be like 3 or 4 months before I actually watch it on there.
Fair.
Because I've already skimmed through it, watched it like several times over before publishing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to not because otherwise I start to get nitpicky because it's so fresh in my head. I'm just like, crap, that was a bad cut, or I should have done this differently. I should have done that differently. But if I wait like 3 to 4 months and then watch it, I'm just like, oh man, that was a lot of fun. I should do that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do a Colorado trip.
What?
Let's do a Colorado trip.
All right. I'm just supposed to keep trying to talk us into going to Idaho later.
Well, we can go to Idaho and Colorado and back to California, and then let's go to Mexico next.
Later this summer, which I'll see if I can fit that in there as well. You guys have more time off than I do, so.
Well, yeah, like I have more time off than you, but this year is just turning out to be a maintenance year. The 20K service, tires, coolant flush.
On maintenance. I need to do my brakes as well.
Yeah, and I got to do the brake flush next. So
flush my coolant too. Probably wouldn't hurt. That's for later Gleb to figure out though.
Yeah, like I'm trying to figure out with this year. I would like to make a trip work this year, but at the same time, I'm looking at my budget. I'm like, this might just be a maintenance year.
For me, it's mostly the time off.
Yeah, because it takes a day to get anywhere.
It takes a day to get anywhere. Yeah. There's other things that I kind of want to do this year as well that I'm hoping to like make sure I have enough time off for that. Not a whole lot, but just enough to like make like a weekend. Yeah. Like at least a 5-day trip out of it. Nothing motorcycle related on that. Just Idaho is like the only motorcycle
Sounds like
related.
You get your priorities. Put motorcycles at the top.
I try, but there's other things I want to see, and there's other things I want to do as well. And
neglect every other aspect of your life, Gleb. Just focus on your bike.
There's not enough time in the world for me to manage it together. Like, try to fit it all in. You guys also have Fridays off, which I don't.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps out a lot.
Yeah.
But we do what we can. I'll try to do what trips I can. Might just have to be something more local on the bike or just like a weekend thing.
That's what I'm thinking is gonna have to be. But next year
I'll
have pretty much everything brand new on that bike for maintenance wise. So
maybe a brand new bike.
No, the bike's mechanically fine. It's just maintenance. It's just in that cycle, that 20,000 mile cycle, and
makes sense.
Triumph, they want us to go fix everything all at once or maintain everything all at once for that 20K service package, and
that's tracks pretty much for
everything.
Cars, bikes included, like. Most things.
Drop $1,200 on your 20K service. Oh, but you need tires. That's going to be another $500 plus install, and then it just adds up. So
things cost money and be pricey.
Yeah. But no, it's good that you're gonna go do something else.
We'll see. Nothing's set in stone yet, so I'm not sure. Yeah. But I just want to make sure that I have enough time off, like accrued back. Before I do. Try to do another trip somewhere this year. Colorado luckily wasn't like crazy expensive. I just crashed at my friend's place. It was over a weekend, so basically all I had to pay for was like gas and food.
That's what we should do. We should
some stuff
talk to our friends out of state and see if we can just come crash there on motorcycle trips. That'll make them cheaper.
Camping is also free.
Camping is also free.
Most places. Or very, very cheap. Especially if you split it between like 2 to 3 people.
True. Yeah.
Or free if you just do dispersed, which is also pretty nice. Yeah. Do you have any motorcycle trips or anything you have planned?
Like I said, I mean, like if I can make Colorado work, or not Colorado, like Idaho, like what Emerson wants to do work, that'd be great. But brake flush, everything else is, and getting my bike more off-road built out. Yeah, it's an adventure bike, but there's got some stuff that I wanna.
Pretty much what I had to do with mine. I still want to figure out my top box situation. Yeah, to try to find an easier way to carry my camera. Luggages. Yeah. I think beyond that, I think that's really the only thing I want to do to my bike. Oh, another thing I just remembered. In Colorado, there was a physical Revzilla store there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, which I was like, whoa, no way. This is cool. They also had a a Triumph dealer right next door to it. Unfortunately, it was closed by the time I got there, and they had a Revit store across the street from Revzilla, and I was just like, man, both of them were closed, but it would have been really cool to like pop in there and just.
You're just like, this is the place.
This is the place. Like, look around, and I was like, wow, Denver, look at that. This is awesome.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
It'd be cool to go to check out.
It's
It's another retail, but that'd be cool.
Yeah,
see,
it's just
so.
kind of cool to see because it's like I've only ever pictured it as like an online store.
Yeah.
It's basically like Cycle Gear.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's the
similar
same,
stuff.
yeah.
It just looked a little cooler than Cycle Gear.
And Revzilla is Cycle
Yeah,
Gear. So.
it's owned by the same company, and it would have been really cool to see the Revit store. I should have popped into there first, but I think they were pretty much like 5 minutes from closing. I'm not gonna be one of those people.
Yeah, just go harass some retail worker on the last 5 minutes of their shift.
We both know what that's like.
Yeah.
And the motorcycle dealer next door, they had Moto Guzzi, they had Triumph, and I think they had Ducati as well.
Nice.
Would have been really cool to check out some Moto Guzzis in like person.
Yeah.
And see what that's like, and just to sit on them and just kind of.
I would love to ride one still, honestly.
They have. Shoot, I forgot the name of it. It's
in
like
Davis County, isn't there? I think I've seen a Moto Guzzi sign up near by the freeway.
I'm not sure.
I feel like I've seen a sign recently. I don't know. I could just be making that up.
We are getting a Triumph, Ducati, and BMW dealer here in Ogden, which I'm kind of excited about. It's also young, which it's a big big auto dealer group here in Utah.
It's going to be a corporate block, but
everything's corporate.
Everything is,
But I'm kind of happy about it because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be nice to have a Triumph dealer closer to home, just in case I need to like get like a random part or do maintenance on the bike. Which, as much as I love Eurosport, they're almost an hour away from me.
Yeah, you're far away.
Yeah. So here it would be so much easier for me to plan like a maintenance thing.
Yeah, no, I felt like, especially like recently this last month, I felt like I haven't been able to ride as much as I want to.
Same.
Just busy, just stuff coming up, especially on the weekends. And it's just like,
I agree. Well, like Colorado trip, I went on that. I did ride the weekend before I left. I think I don't remember where
I say that, but every day this week I rode my bike to the coffee shop before starting work.
Nice.
And it's nice. It's definitely a plus for sure, but at the same time, like, it just makes me want, because that's just like a 5 minute, 10 minute jaunt.
Just makes you want to keep going, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, that's what I like. Right after I got back from Colorado, the next day when I went to work, I rode my bike to work, and then took the long way home.
Yep.
Just up and over the mountains, kind of did a big loop just because I'm like,
so it's like,
I missed my bike.
It's like we're out riding, and it's good that we are getting out and practicing that. But especially after the video that you put up, I'm just like, God damn it.
I know. It really hits. And I've been also watching the Long Way Home series on Apple TV. I'm going to get caught up on that. With Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman, like riding through Europe. And I'm just like, man, my God, I would drop anything to go do that right now.
I just wouldn't come back either.
I probably wouldn't, but it just looked like such a cool adventure, and they have like a whole production crew with them, so I'm sure it's a little easier for them to plan all that and manage it. But just the sites they went through,
they
like
might have a little bit more disposable income than us, but.
probably. But like just the places they rode through, just like the roads they took, the towns they stopped at. It'd be such a cool part of the world to like explore on a motorcycle, because we have some beautiful roads here and stuff like that, but the towns and the cities you go through, they're not the same here in the States as they are over there in Europe. It's completely different, and it'd be really cool to see some of those places or ride through a lot of those places on the bike.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I kind of had the same feeling as and the whole time I was in Colorado, I was just like, man, I really want to ride my bike through there, because I would see, especially like on the twisty roads and stuff, I would see a lot of motorcyclists either touring or doing day rides through there, and I'm just like, man, I'm missing my bike right now. It'd be really fun to hit this road up on a bike.
Well, me and Tessa were talking about going to see her mom, she lives in one of the areas we rode past. Yeah. The San Fran area. Mm-hmm. We want to go back, and I'm just like, and we're gonna get that work and get over there again, but I just know the minute I like step out of the house and go down to the beach or something, go for a drive, I'm just gonna be like, I need the bike here again.
Yeah. And that coastal ride, like, it was phenomenal. Like, watching the footage while I was editing, I'm like, man, that was such an incredible part of the ride. It just felt so good.
I think everyone should take a motorcycle trip to the coast.
Absolutely.
If you don't live by the coast.
Yeah. And especially the California coast.
Yeah.
It's great. I would love to also do, so we went north. I would love to go
I want to go south.
Like San Francisco to LA and hit up like the Big Sur area.
I'd like to go
all the way to San Diego.
San Diego, or even like down to like Tijuana even. I wouldn't mind crossing over, see some Baja Mexico. Baja Cali.
That'd be really cool. Or even hit up further north from Fort Bragg and do like the Oregon coast up to Washington and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Hell, all the way up to Canada even. That'd be even better.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. So there's
I just like that we keep like, we just doubling or tripling the mileage on this.
Yep.
So, 2,000 miles, 4,000 miles?
4,000 miles? It'd be really cool to see, but that's definitely not going to happen this year.
No.
So
but
maybe next year.
It's something to work toward and get ready for.
Yeah.
So.
What other kind of maintenance other than breaking? We just did your coolant flush.
We did the coolant flush, the crash bars.
Oh, yeah, you did get new crash bars.
Yeah.
Have not had to use them yet.
Yep, I have not.
And you dropped your bike for the first time.
We talked about that last time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, we talked about that already. But yeah, no, I did drop my bike for the first time, slow speed stuff.
But now you got crash bars.
Then I got crash bars.
Nice. Perfect. Good timing.
Yeah. But no, the bike I was honestly surprised because I've seen how flat this Triumph Scrambler lays down when it goes down. Surprisingly, like, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the passenger foot peg mount and the handguard,
it just kind of kept
because it fell on the exhaust side, and I was like, oh shit, I just smashed my exhaust, because I've seen the way that bike falls, and I was like, I've just smashed my exhaust, and I was expecting my handguard to be cracked. But my handguard held up fine. I've done better than most Triumph Scrambler owners who've dropped their bike already.
There was no damage other than
it's scratched, but the tank is fine, the exhaust is fine. So I was like, okay, let's just get some crash bars and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, perfect.
So, and then I'm doing a tail tidy.
Oh, that's
soon,
right. That was the other thing.
Just to give it some looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the coolant flush is next. Then the little rack for my exhaust to be able to throw my saddlebags over it without burning it, or having to put on like that heat shield. Take a risk with that.
I feel like motorcycling is just like an endless, not really endless, but like you're constantly finding like little things to kind of
it's like
change
one
out
step
on your
forward,
bike.
2 steps back.
Yeah. You're constantly finding like things to change out on your bike or to kind of swap or do something differently where it's just you're like, oh, if I like change this up, it would make it a little more comfortable or a little like better performing or
and I don't know what
better
it
looking.
Is. Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but like going like we're like watching that video of us off-roading in California, and then like the off-roading we have done since then, and like the lack of that I have done from my everything going on. It's like I've got a lot of off-road anxiety now, and it's like I want to go out and get it, and it's just like I just got to go and do it. And
You're
now
scared of dropping your bike again?
I don't even know what it is. Like I'm just like, okay, that's why I got the crash bars. I want this luggage rack. I want to be able to adventure, and
I kind of feel the same way with my like downhill anxiety. Like ever since, I still like can't get over that mental block somehow. Like going down the hill and just like seeing the road like churn, and then I'm just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know how to do this. You know what you're doing.
From our last off-road thing that we did up at Ant Flats, I just realized it's just like I can't turn. I have to constantly remind myself to like, no, look ahead, idiot. Look ahead.
Yep, that's my biggest thing is like looking, always just like looking in, like looking down versus.
Oh, and you gifted me some foot pegs, some really nice foot pegs.
Oh yeah.
So that is going to make off-roading a lot easier and more comfortable.
So I got some Lone Rider foot pegs. I don't know if I talked about this on the last episode. Some Lone Rider, like wide foot pegs basically for off-roading, and they sent me one set, and it was missing like a couple of springs to basically so they fold back down if they fold up so they get back to their natural position on the bike, and also makes them a little less rattly. But my OEM springs were just a little too short, and they couldn't quite fit into to be able to do that. So they fold back down on their own. And what happened was that I emailed them. It's like, hey, I'm not sure if this is supposed to come with 2 springs. I watched a video on YouTube of a guy installing the same exact foot pegs on a Triumph Tiger 1200. And like, it's the same configuration, same mount. And I'm just like, he has 2 springs. I only have 1. So I emailed them. They got back to me like immediately pretty much, which props to their customer service. They were great. I told them like, hey, it only came with one spring. I saw online of a guy installing them and it came with 2 springs. I don't know if that was changed or if this is like a mistake. They're like, oh, it's a mistake. We're not sure what happened. Let's see what we can do. And apparently they didn't have any like extra springs to send out or spare springs. So they just sent me a whole set of foot pegs, like a whole new set. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's crazy. And that also came with one spring. So I don't know what the deal with that was.
That one came with one spring too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I eventually got 2 springs.
That's right.
That way.
Yeah, I'm using my OEM springs still. Yeah. And they work for mine okay. I can tell they're loose, but they have enough force to bring them. Yeah.
So I gave the spare set to Mitch because the mounts are the same. Your springs are just longer.
Yeah.
So they worked for yours.
Yeah, it worked fine on mine. So.
Yeah. So I don't know what the deal with that was, but we both have some Lone Rider
proper
foot pegs
off-road
now.
foot pegs.
And it does make a big difference. That I think the same weekend or the weekend after I installed mine, I did some off-roading up in the mountains just nearby, and it turned out to be a way longer adventure than I anticipated.
Yeah.
I got home with my phone being at like 3% battery. So I was just like, okay, Glove, let's not do that late in the day again.
Yeah.
It was like pitch black. It was like 10 p.m. by the time I got home.
Yeah. Are you still off-roading in the dark?
No. Okay.
No.
I
enough of that, right?
Yeah. I was off-roading for a good bit. Then I got to a spot where there was some snow going across the road. And I was just like, okay, it wasn't like enough to... Like I could have walked the bike or just slowly kind of ridden across it probably because it was kind of already grooved out from like tire tracks from cars and stuff. And I was like, I feel like I could get to the other side of this, but I'm also wasn't sure if there's going to be a bigger snowbank further down though. I'm just like, I can't do this on the bike and I don't want to cross the smaller snowbank again. So I'm just like, I'm just going to turn around, try to go back. If you hear the beeping, I'm not sure what's going on. But, yeah, so I turned around and got back to like a fork in the road so I can either go back the way I came or go down another road. And I was like, this way looks shorter than the way I got to. At least it's a quicker way to get me to a pavement.
Yeah.
And so I rode down that. It was near Randolph, Utah, up here in northern Utah. And it turned out to be a really fun road with some beautiful campsites along the way. But
there we go.
I got to Randolph. It was probably like 8 p.m. by then. And I was just like, oh man, I am absolutely exhausted. Luckily, I had like enough water with me to last me the entire trip. But it was just like it was a little bit more than I anticipated to do that evening. But it was still a lot of fun, and I did a good bit of off-roading. I did a good bit of off-roading, and those foot pegs they really made a big difference. My feet were a lot less tired. They were a lot less.
How are your calves? For me, it's always my calves.
My calves are fine.
Okay, because I don't know about you. On mine, I have to like kind of like sink my feet down on my pegs just with how the scrambler sits. To like, I can't be like that all the time. I have to be more in like that leaned over attack mode. But like to get a break from that, I squat my feet down to stretch my calves out. But it kills because I have to do that to stretch to. It just gets uncomfortable after too long.
No, my calves were pretty much fine. But I did kind of, now I'm thinking like, see, this is what I was talking about. Like, you're always thinking of like,
it's one step forward.
New things to buy.
You got your new thing. You got your new shiny bits and bobs.
I just want my other new thing. And I'm thinking like, maybe I want some like motocross or dirt riding boots. Kind of like Emerson got like the stiffer, more protective boots and stuff. Because I'm just like, I can kind of see how, because they have a stiffer bottom, so your foot doesn't kind of like curve down on the foot pegs. Yeah. Versus like my boots now, which are a little bit softer touring boots. So they're fine for off-road, but not like
I'll have to try
fully off-road.
I'll have to try my my Alpine Star boots, my like actual usable off-road boots, not my shiny flashy ones from Triumph. That have like no protection. Yeah, I'll have to try those ones out and see what they're like. But I hope I don't need to buy more boots.
Yeah. So now that's like the other thing I kind of got in my head, and then I also was like thinking like it'd be kind of cool to get like the armor and jersey set up and stuff for staying cooler, or like knee pads and butt pads and then like loose or lighter pants, just all these different things, which I'm like, I don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just make it more either easier or more comfortable or just, make you feel more confident, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and like for me, it was like, I'm at that point, like it's time to replace my summer jacket.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I don't want to buy another motorcycle jacket. Like I want to get the jersey and armor set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to switch to. But also doing that, those armor shirts are somehow more than motorcycle jackets. So.
Somehow, yeah. And the other thing I was thinking is like the brand, like a new helmet. I'm still like thinking of getting that this year, but
it's time, isn't it?
I've had mine for 5 years, and that's how long their warranty lasts. So I'm like,
you'd be okay with.
I mean, I'm okay. Like it's still fine, but I just kind of want a new one. I don't really need a new one. And I did try on, like, I was looking at considering the Liat.
Oh, yeah.
Helmet. I did try that on at the Revzilla store in Denver.
What'd you think of it, that helmet?
It didn't quite, like, feel quite right, especially on my cheekbones, which
it was
I feel
like the adventure helmet, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It was the adventure helmet. It does have a transition visor. This was their, like, carbon one, so this thing's, like, almost, like, $800-something. It's crazy expensive, but they have one that's, like, non-carbon that's like $600, so
that's
a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't quite feel right on my cheeks, but it felt right on my like the top of my head. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to like go look at it again and really like wear it around for like 20 minutes to see if there's any hot spots or any weird things that develop. And yeah, my helmet quest is kind of at a standstill because I did try out also the Climb Alpha X1. And I didn't love it as much as I thought it did. I feel like I
loved it. I mean, like, not as like an off-road helmet, but like just an all-around like motorcycle helmet.
Like to me, it seemed better on paper than it did on like in person. The visor on it felt much more narrow than it did on my on my Shoei, and also I didn't like the glass, like the actual visor. Like when you flip it up, it didn't like go as high as I would like it to. It was like very noticeable, like in my field of vision. And I'm just like, it's further like narrowing that part down. And
the only things I guess I really appreciate, to me, it seems like it fit pretty well for me.
It did fit well.
Yeah, and I appreciated the weight, and like it just felt very comfortable. Like it did
feel really good.
It felt like silk was on my face.
And I also didn't like the fact that to lock the visor, like it has like this little notch.
Sticks out right. I remember finding that out. Yeah,
looks like a little crosshair.
Yeah,
for you. And I'm just like, I feel like there's better ways to do this because everyone else figured that part out.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like instantly in love with it as much as I thought I would be. I would strongly consider the Arai if they had a transition lens, but they do not. They do not. That's too much of a thing too.
Looks like Leb's buying another Shoei Hornet. No.
I mean, I'm not going to buy a new Shoei Hornet because they haven't updated it.
Yeah.
Unless they update it, I'm not even going to consider it because I'm just like, I'm not going to buy the same exact helmet.
No, I'd be dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only other one is really like the Climb Krios.
Yeah.
That's left. They'll make me look bobbleheaded.
Oh, it doesn't quite have your head shape or our head shapes.
It has a head shape, but it's just the shell size for like a large helmet is also the same for extra large and double XL.
Yeah, it was
so it just
bulky.
looks bulbous.
Yeah.
If they had one more shell size, it'd be perfect. If they had a large shell size, and then
I remember loving everything about the features on that helmet, but I put it on and it did not fit my head shape. It had like too much room on the sides.
Really?
So I was like, well, that sucks.
And then there's like the next NEXX WED 3, some fucking ridiculous name. I don't know. That I saw as well. And I'm just like, it'd be kind of cool to try that to see how that one feels. That one does not have a transition lens, but it does have a drop down visor in it.
Get a shoe berth.
Oh God, no. No, those things are like massive and heavy.
Yeah.
I don't need that kind of for off-roading. So for now, I'm just going to stick to my Shoei. Maybe I won't even get a helmet this year. Maybe it's just not the time. Maybe it's just not the right.
Maybe next year. I mean, because that's just the warranty. It's a perfectly fine helmet.
It's still perfectly fine. And
like,
it's
5 years old, but it'll keep you alive for now. And
yeah. It's one of those things where it's also like, I just kind of want something new, but I don't really need it.
Yeah.
But then they're not cheap. So unless I'm like 100% satisfied with something, I'm not going to buy a new one.
I'm gonna start saving like once I've gotten like that luggage rack and the brake flush done on my bike.
Yeah.
Eventually I want to get some tiny indicators. I really want to get that exhaust for it. I forgot. I do want to get that Hitchcock exhaust.
Exhaust would be nice. I wouldn't mind one for my bike, but it's not like...
Well, and it takes off like 10 kilograms off my bike.
It's not that big of a priority for me.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't mind putting a quick shifter on my bike.
Yeah, a quick shifter would be pretty cool.
Would be nice. I wish I would have just done that like as soon as I bought the bike. Then I would just had it by now, but it's fine. I don't know. I just don't want to buy anything at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, I already spent so much money. I'm tired of buying stuff.
That's the hard part too. It's just like, well, I have to do the maintenance stuff and I have like the nice pretty things. But it's like, I don't need that. I'm just tired of buying things too.
Exactly.
I just want to be able to get this bike, like get all the maintenance that I needed done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be excited to not have any bills for a minute. Realistically.
It would be very nice. But I think that's all pretty much I had to share for today.
Yeah, just a little catch up and us complaining a little, but yeah.
We'll do a proper topic in our next episode.
I think
because it's been
we'll actually
long
do something
enough.
Structured and
it's been long enough where we haven't done that. But for now, thank you guys so much for listening.
We appreciate you.
We, like I said, took a little break, so we're happy to be back. And hopefully you enjoyed listening to us for the past 45 minutes. But anyways, thank you guys once again so much for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.